Hi, my name is Amanda Taylor, and I'm a clinical therapist at Holy Family Memorial Behavioral Health. And I'd like to thank you for joining me today to learn more about different strategies for coping with the coronavirus situation. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about mask anxiety, a little bit about what it is, and then some different strategies to be able to manage some of that anxiety more effectively. So in general, anxiety comes about with a threat or a sense of fear, and with the mask, there's kind of two reasons why it might create some extra anxiety. In general, for those who have anxiety already, the mask can create extra levels of anxiety, but then also just what the mask represents and our whole situation with the coronavirus can make it just more anxiety provoking for even just someone without an anxiety disorder. So the masks can create this sense of fear, a sense of it being difficult to breathe, and there's a temperature increase underneath the mask, which can all create kind of this fight or flight response. And typically what happens then is you start to breathe shallower, you start to breathe faster, you're breathing from the chest area instead of from your belly area. So that all makes it kind of this telling your brain that it should be frightened or that it should create this anxiety response in your body. And so what I'm going to talk a little bit about is how to manage that, some different strategies in changing thought processes, changing behaviors that can help you take control of that anxiety instead of it controlling you. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is changing your thoughts about the mask and about wearing the mask. Thoughts that are more maybe distorted or extreme or negative can create a more intense anxiety response. Some common thoughts like this that are unhelpful tend to be things like, this is so uncomfortable, I can't stand this, I feel like I'm suffocating, I can't do this. All of those thoughts can really intensify that anxiety response and tell your brain that it kind of needs to be in that in fight or flight mode. So some ways to kind of manage some of those thoughts is to first notice that you're having them. And once you notice them, it's having some different thought patterns that are a little bit more balanced or helpful or a little bit more positive that can help tell your brain to decrease that anxiety feeling. So for example, it could be telling yourself that, I can do this, this is not going to last forever, that, I know this is uncomfortable, but I don't have to wear this forever. I just have to wear this when I go into the store, and then I can take it off when I get in my car. So those are some thoughts that can be a little bit more balanced and helpful. They allow you to decrease that anxiety response just to get through having to wear that mask. Could be also just telling yourself that, I'm doing this to help others and to help myself and keep me safe. Just telling yourself that positive thought can help. A second strategy is looking at the different types of masks that are available and finding one that's going to be a little bit more comfortable for yourself. So there's different types out there. I have a couple of them here. So there's fabric masks, and the fabric masks can have ties on them, and the ties allow you to then pull it tighter or looser so it's a little bit more comfortable on your face. And then some of the masks have a thicker fabric or a thinner fabric, so maybe it's finding a little bit thinner fabric that's easier to breathe in. Another type of mask is going to be a fabric one, but it has an elastic strap on it, And these elastic straps are nice in that they keep the mask tight, but they can often be, if they're not long enough, they can sit closer to your face and then make it more difficult to breathe. So it might be finding a mask where the elastic is not so tight so that it's a little bit easier to breathe through it. And then another type of mask is this fabric mask. These tend to be a little bit lighter. Some of them have better filtration in them, and they can allow for easier breathing. And then, if the mask is, any of the masks are really uncomfortable, maybe it's talking about with your, medical provider in terms of if maybe a face shield is a better option because that's not constricting your face. So it's kind of playing around with what mask might be more comfortable. And then also talking with your healthcare provider if you are concerned about, health risks and the different types of masks. A third option is to focus on your breathing and noticing when you are maybe going into that more fight or flight response with the shallow breathing, with the faster breathing. That's going to create a more anxiety. So it's practicing noticing your breath and being mindful of it. Maybe taking some time when you're not wearing the mask to be able to focus on your breathing and take some time to have strategies to maybe slow down the breathing, having deeper breathing. So it could be, taking 5-10 minutes a day to really focus on how you can get more deeper breaths, more full breaths. That's going to allow you to get some more oxygen into your body, to decrease that anxiety that your brain is telling you that you have. And it could be, breathing in for 5 seconds, and then breathing out for 5 seconds to really notice how it feels to slow down the breathing, breathing from your belly instead of your chest area, so you can really get those full breaths. And practicing that without the mask, and then practicing it with the mask on, so that you can notice the difference between, when you're maybe breathing shallower and faster, and then the difference with the slower, deeper breathing, and then just noticing how it calms and relaxes. Another strategy is changing your focus. Where your brain focuses and where your mind focuses will then kind of determine if you're going to be more anxious or less anxious with the mask. If you continually focus on the uncomfortableness of the mask and how it feels, hot and sticky under there, it's just going to intensify that uncomfortableness. A strategy could be, instead of focusing on the mask and how it's uncomfortable and how it's difficult to wear, it's refocusing your mind on just what's in your environment, really focusing on being present in what you're doing, even if it's at the grocery store. Could be just noticing maybe the different things you're seeing, noticing what you're hearing, smelling, tasting, just being really present in that moment. So the focus is on your environment and where you're at versus the uncomfortableness of the mask. It could be just using a kind of, I'd call it a grounding strategy or a coping strategy of refocusing your brain onto, could be just different categories, taking, a couple minutes, instead of focusing on the mask, focusing on different categories of, could be, different types of cereals as you see them if you're in the grocery store, or different types of different produce in the produce section, or it could be just going through different sports teams that you like, or different types of music that you like. So it's just refocusing the brain to get you out of that anxiety response. And you could do that for just a couple minutes, and then notice if your anxiety has calmed down. And then another strategy could be to just make the mask fun. Make it something fun and interesting for you. Maybe it's finding a whole bunch of different masks that have different patterns on them. Maybe it's making your own mask so that you can match maybe different outfits that you're wearing, or different sports teams that you enjoy. So just kind of making it a fun experience instead of something that's uncomfortable and not something that you want to do. Make it something that you want to have with you, like another accessory that you're wearing. And so, those are some different strategies that you can use to be able to manage that anxiety of wearing the mask. The mask is, it can be uncomfortable. We're not used to wearing them. This can be a way to make it easier, make it more comfortable, and help you to take control of your anxiety versus your anxiety taking control of you. So, try out these different strategies, find the ones that work for you, and use those to help you to kind of get through your daily life. And I appreciate you being with me today, and I hope that one of these strategies will work for you to make your life more calm and relaxed. Thank you.